No.
Put chairs up there.
Good morning, everyone. Welcome to our celebration of life and happy Mother's Day. We're very glad to have you. Our first congregational song is on this green paper. Mary has been handing them out. If you still need one, you might signal her. And Jean's going to give us a little introduction about it.
So, like so many of the songs we sing, this is an aspirational song because there are some people for which Mother's Day is not a joyful day. Okay, so we're going to sing it into being. So sing out, please. And this song was requested by Nancy White. You want me to play this one?
Thank you. That feels you enjoy. So I think your intention was set well. Yes.
Thank you, sir.
Yes. My name is Sarah Drew. I am the outreach coordinator here at First E. It's my pleasure to welcome you to First E this morning. We are a spiritual community, philosophically based on existentialist and feminist principles, dedicated to human liberation. We make our spiritual home here in the old stone church, which was hand-built 100 years ago by the African-American Antioch East Baptist Church. We acknowledge that racial hostility drove those African-Americans from the area, and we honor them and the powerful history of this place. We also acknowledge that in the 1800s, the Muskogee Creek people were driven from this land as well, and we support justice for all Indigenous people. I have been thinking I'm not a mother. I've been thinking long and hard about what my opening words might be, and as it were, one just sort of word of mouth came in front of me the other day, and I was like, my answer has arrived. This is a poem, a beautiful poem, but I could not for the life of me find the author. So if any of you have heard it before and know the author, I would love to hear. And otherwise, maybe putting these words out into the universe will bring me the author, just like it brought me their words. Mother's Day is for loving. Mother's Day is for loving immigrant and refugee moms whose children are locked in cages because they were on the wrong side of an imaginary line. Mother's Day is for loving Black and brown moms who are behind bars for things white moms get a minimum fine for if they are charged at all. Mother's Day is for loving lesbian moms who fought for the right to build their families, only to be scorned and told they are unworthy. Mother's Day is for loving trans moms who didn't bear or nurse their children and sometimes aren't acknowledged as moms at all. Mother's Day is for loving moms who choose to parent children they didn't bear. Mother's Day is for loving moms who are in court battles with authorities trying to take away their beloved children for classist and ableist reasons. Mother's Day is for loving moms who are saying no and building a new way. Mother's Day is for loving people who miss their mom. Mother's Day is for loving people who hate their mom. Mother's Day is for loving people who never had a mom. Mother's Day is for loving. From 3 moms in our congregation who are going to tell us their own stories. Those are my favorite kind of speakers that tell us stories about themselves. And for now, I'll remind you that if you have any community announcements, make sure that you bring them to me at some point soon. There are cards and pen back by where Jan is sitting there if you need it. And I'll read those later on in our celebration of life this morning. If you are not acquainted with the space, I'll also let you know that there's a bathroom just outside the doors here, between these doors and the front doors, and another one downstairs if you need it. We'd like to take this moment to recognize any newcomers who might be here for the first or maybe second time today. We don't want to put anyone on the spot, but if you're willing, please tell us your name and how you found out about First E, or how you happened to come in this morning. Anybody? Yeah, go ahead.
My name is Julie, this is my husband Danny. We are here to meet Mr. Dave Hayward, who is not here. Yes, Dave is always listening. He's coming, he's invited us to come.
Well, I'll be sure to tell him that you were on time. Thank you for coming. Thank you for coming. And I'll direct you, anybody who would want it, that there's a connection card in the program here this morning. If you want to fill it out with your information and the interest you have of us, I'll be more than happy to add you to our email list. Does anyone have a birthday or anniversary that they would like to celebrate this morning?
I would like to say one more thing.
Sure.
So, what Dave is doing is he's reinstituting his history of LGBTQ movement in Atlanta, and we're part of that. We have a party bus, so we're going to facilitate that with Dave. He's planning 2 tours, one in the Midtown area, including a stop here, and the other one is going to be in Ansley and Cheshire Bridge, and they're both in May. So we're at the beginning planning of that. Thank you.
Very cool.
Stay tuned.
All right, final call for birthdays or anniversaries. I think that's a no. So we will move to our second congregational song, which is Cabaret. That is in the binder, the addendum, and it's alphabetical. C. C for Thank you. come forward for our minister's moment.
Good morning, everyone. It's wonderful. Great to see you all here. And it's a beautiful day. We have a perfect day for Mother's Day. Glad to see that. I don't know if anyone had an opportunity to go up to North Georgia and see the Northern Lights, but I've had friends that live up there and have sent pictures, and it's pretty amazing to have the Northern Lights right down here. So I hope that whatever you're doing, that you enjoy the beauty of nature, and how lucky we are to be here in Atlanta and have the kind of weather and things that we're having. I want to say a special shout out to all the mothers that are in the audience. I think that that being a parent is the hardest job that there is. And so I really want to acknowledge how much I appreciate what mothers do and the hard job that you have. And so I hope that you have a wonderful day today. And also, last week was, I forgot to mention that last week was Holocaust Remembrance Day, a week. And at the same time that I want us to be sure and support the right of people to protest. Right now, there's so many that are protesting because of the loss of life, and particularly in Gaza. And it's important that we support that right to peacefully protest, but at the same time, I think it's equally important that we remember how we need to stand up against anti-Semitism and not confuse the issues that are going on. And so I hope that y'all will keep those things in mind. And I hope that you have a wonderful Mother's Day, doing whatever it is that you want to do. I have a puppy at home, and I'll give her a little extra loving today. But I hope that you all have a wonderful day. Thank you.
I have a pile of community announcements. Thank you for that. Here we go. Next week, May 19th, is the third Sunday of the month, so don't forget that we'll have an eat and greet after our COL. So you can bring something to eat. You can also bring someone to greet, or you can find either of those things here when you come. Announcement that the new school at 455 Memorial near Boulevard and Oakland Cemetery is having a car wash as a fundraiser for the rising seniors on May 18th from 10 to 4. 2 weeks from now, on May 26th, 2 weeks from now, on May 26th, self-described atheist Leon Clymore and self-described heathen Rick Epting will debate life, God, and the universe or other small talk during a celebration of life. The discussion may be the debate of the century. You heard it here. Which century is yet undetermined. Maybe the 14th, maybe the 24th, time will tell. The annual book and bake sale will be on July 13th. Please start looking for books to donate and recipes to make sweets.
And when do we drop off books and all of that for that?
I don't know the answer to that. I will ask Libby, and I will put it in our e-blast. That's a good question.
Great.
Good idea. Okay. The e-chorus, please meet at the piano after service. And this is very exciting. The Program Guild is interested in getting feedback from the congregation about Sunday Celebration of Life services. They want to know what you appreciate and perhaps if there are any things you would like done differently. So for the next couple of months, they have a very short survey available. It asks only 3 questions regarding the Sunday presentation, the facilitation, and the music. You can simply mark your answer to each one. It also asks the date, just to not confuse one week with the other. And there's a short optional comment section if you wish to add more than that. The survey is available back on this table, straight in front of me. It's that brown, blue, and red box there. And the surveys are right there with it, and you can drop them right in the box. It should just take a second. Maybe it'll take 12 seconds. You can also do the survey online. There's a QR code in the bulletin, which is right there, the middle of the back. So you could do the paper version, or you could do the online version, and they're happy to hear from newcomers as well as friends and members of the congregation. Thank you in advance for helping the Program Guild in its work. And that is from Stella. Looking forward to hearing what you think. And that was all the community announcements. Now we're going to move to our time of silence, which will last for about 5 minutes. You may wish to meditate or pray or just sit silently. There are candles at each side of the sanctuary. If you would like to write one for any reason. And you're welcome to move around, but if you do it, please do it quietly. And I'll let you know when those 5 minutes are up.
Is this on?
It is.
Yes.
I always wanted to be a mother. And this is ignoring the fact that there was a father, because this is my story. I come from the perspective of the baby of the family. Everybody told me what to do, how to act. Nobody listened to what I had to say. And I was sure I could do motherhood better than anyone. I listened to my children, encouraged them to do what they wanted, spoil them. Not that my mother wasn't a good mother, I was just convinced I could do it better. That was the ideal. Then reality set in. We were living in Glenwood Springs when my daughter Terry was born. I was sure that would be so easy. Then the day came before I was to leave from the hospital. I was terrified. They were going to make me take this small person home, and I did not know anything about babies. I was even scared to go to the nursery even to look at her. Well, turned out not so bad as I had imagined. And I began to enjoy being a mother. For the first time in my life, I was in control. However, with that power came tremendous responsibility. Well, when she was a year old, we moved to Sheridan, Wyoming, where our second daughter, Rebecca, was born. We enjoyed her for 7 weeks, and then one morning, I went to get her, and she was dead. David was out fighting a forest fire, and so I called the doctor in panic, and he came over and called for a supervisor's wife, and she lined up a bunch of people to be with me and distract me while the doctor took Becky away. They were able to get David off the fire line and home. And it was a bunch of chaos, and I really don't remember much of anything about that time, except I wanted an autopsy because as far as I was concerned, she was perfectly healthy. Well, it turned out she had only a 3-chambered heart, which possibly in this day and age they might have been able to do something about, but couldn't at the time. However, we did enjoy her for those 7 weeks because we were not worrying about losing her. Well, we moved a couple more times and ended up in Idaho Springs, Colorado. There were only 2 doctors in this town of 1,500 people, and only 1 took patients, maternity patients. And the birth had to be 40 miles away in Denver because there wasn't a hospital in Idaho Springs. When it was time for the baby to be born, I called the doctor and told him we were heading for the hospital. We made it, the doctor didn't, so I made some intern's day. Patton had arrived. All my children were born in different hospitals, different doctors, different cities. And the next time I was pregnant, I wanted David in the delivery room with me, since it was a new idea at the time. And we found the doctor and hospital where we could do that. On Tuesday, December 22nd, I went skiing, bowled with my usual league, no baby. Did lots of cooking and played with the 2 kids I already had on Wednesday, no baby. Thursday, along about supper time, David arrived home after being outdoors at the ski area all day, exhausted. And I said, I think we need to go to the hospital. And he said, couldn't we just do this some other time? No. We packed up kids, Christmas toys, etc., headed for Denver, where Claiborne arrived at 7 minutes after midnight on Christmas Day. My brother-in-law asked if we were going to name him Jesus. Our family was complete. I have appreciated all the stories, joys, challenges from the years that we were together. I enjoyed motherhood, teaching little people the skills that they would need to function in society and savoring their reactions to discovering new things. I remember feeling I had accomplished what I had set out to do the year we were taking Terry to college. And we were going to camp overnight. We pulled into the campground, everybody got out, they did what they were supposed to, gathered wood, set up the tent, got the dinner ready. It was also the last time we went camping together. Our family was beginning to scatter. I have been blessed that my children include me in their lives. I have learned a great deal from them. I especially appreciate that they enjoy traveling with me. And our most recent trips to Mountain View, Arkansas to see eclipse. And this past week with a friend to Destin, Florida. That's my brief motherhood story.
My talk has nothing to do with the pictures. The pictures are just random.
Can I just?
You could just do a slideshow. Yeah.
I'm going to turn our chairs.
Yeah, the pictures are just all of this year, because while her talk is on becoming a mother, my internal subtitle is in the thick of it. Happy Mother's Day, a day set aside to honor our individual mothers. And my mother lives with me, and I thank her, and there will be some pictures of her.
I'm gonna go through them again.
You can just keep it on slideshow, and it can go over and over while I'm talking. By extension, our grandmothers, and mine are long gone, but I honor their presence and influence on my life, and I always recognize them on Mother's Day too. Mothers as a whole and motherhood as a concept, a gender-specific concept of parenthood, including the nurturing of children's physical and emotional needs. In this community, I became a member in the mid-90s when I was in my mid-20s. Many of you have witnessed me mature and become a parent at 39. That would be Alex. I don't know why I'm getting so emotional. Many of you have known my children since before they were born. And for any of you who don't know, I divorced my children's father when they were quite young, and he's now deceased. I find the fundamental difficulty of parenting is that you never really know what you're doing. Just when you have figured out a particular phase of childhood, the child has moved on to another. The COVID years didn't help. Even though I was working from home, the children went feral and grew up somehow both in front of my eyes and without me realizing it. Motherhood is where I have the imposter syndrome. It took a long time to become a mother, and I'm not quite sure that I deserve it. Navigating relationships seems to be a key part of the high school years. My individual relationship with my children, as they experience hormonal fluctuations and me trying to stay calm. The child trying to figure out their relationships with their friends. All of the petty high school, who likes who, and backbiting and all of that. Trying to explore, thank you. Trying to explore intimate relationships, trying to learn what a healthy couple relationship is without having had a two-parent example of one. Negotiating freedoms is another skill we're working on. How far can you drive the car on your own? Who are you allowed to go with? And who's allowed to come with you? My daughter, Alex, 16, who's right here, is finishing up her junior year of high school. She attended prom with her friends, is trying to narrow down her college choices, and has recently begun questioning whether the career choice she had picked out, early childhood education, is really right for her. She has 2 jobs lined up for the summer, continuing as a smoothie barista at Arden's Garden, and is a teaching assistant for the drama camp for her 2nd year at the Alliance. Also trying to figure out some vacation time to Florida and Oregon. My son, Hubert, is 15, and he's finishing his freshman year of high school. His current school is closing, which prompted a panicked couple of months while we figured out where he will finish high school. Luckily, there's a brand new school opening in College Park that seems like a perfect fit. He'll be able to dual enroll in this high school and the Atlanta Technical College and study automotive repair. All Hubert's ever wanted to be was a mechanic. He's loved cars since he was a little tiny boy, and he still loves cars. And that's him getting ready to go out for a drive. He's got his learner's permit still, so I drive with him, and that's a big part of our bonding time. This dual enrollment will allow him to graduate with 2 certificates and go right into the workforce.
Right.
And Bear and I are planning a trip up to Colorado, me for a short time and him for most of the month of July with my cousin, where he'll get a chance to work on cars firsthand and get some male bonding that he doesn't get at home. My cousin can do everything. So, you know, we're sorting things out and living day to day and negotiating and struggling and dealing with who gets what car, but one's in the shop right now, so we're in the market if anybody's got a junker, a cheap car that they're looking to get rid of. That's all I have.
It's going to take me a minute here. Okay.
Are you going to talk from there?
I'm going to talk from here. Am I the only one who's cynical here? I'm sorry. I went to a grocery store yesterday and I was just blown away. They will never sell all those flowers. I don't care how many anxious kids and husbands come in, they will never sell all those flowers. But here is the beginning of my my presentation. I am a little more formal. This is my background and working, and I just sort of naturally go to a PowerPoint slide. So here we are, and that is my daughter, Sarah, when she just woke up. I don't know how old she was. I don't think she was quite a year old. And just like, where am I? What's going on here? And that's the question we all ask, right? And then Sarah and I, we took a trip together in 2022 to the country where she is now working, which is Georgia. I have a map, I'll show you where it is. And we spent 2 weeks traveling around the country, but this is not a travelogue, okay? This is just sort of a sorting out of our relationship, which has at times, of course, been, you know, fraught. What can I say? Okay, so this is, you're looking at Europe, and the little awkward red circle is where Georgia is. It has, it straddles the land between the Black Sea and the Caspian Sea. And it's about as big as North Carolina. And Sarah is there working as a contractor in public health. And she first was working as a contractor for the CDC, and now she's working as a contractor for Columbia University. And they're studying antibiotic microbial resistance, which just means that antibiotics aren't working anymore, and everybody is concerned about it, and it's related very closely to what they're seeing going on in Ukraine, which, as you can see, is just up from Georgia. And they do not meet in Ukraine, they go and meet in, all the teams from all the countries meet who are concerned about this meet in Poland, which is just on the other side of Ukraine. It's too dangerous to go to Ukraine. So this is the view from Sarah's apartment. That is the mansion of an old oligarch there. One person lives there. And down the hill, which is a very famous hill in Tbilisi, which is the capital of Georgia, you'll see at the far end there is a statue, and she's Mother Georgia. She is 65 feet high, and she very aptly carries a sword in one hand and a drink in the other. She has been there since 1958, and she is a very loved symbol of the country and of the city. Before I go much farther, I had to show you some of these photographs. I was lucky enough to be there while the Georgia National Dance Company was performing. And I'm just going to show you a few slides because I didn't want anybody to miss this. It was astonishingly energetic. When they flew around, their sweat swept in a circle around them. They were just... And the cutest thing was that when we got to the beach, they had a little stage on the beach for kids, their talent show. And wouldn't you know, every young kid, or not every young kid, but many of the young kids were doing these dances. They could not wait to join the company. And it is a very powerful force in the country. And getting aerial is also amazing. So the kids would look like this. They sold the wigs all over the country. This is their image of what it is to be cool. So it was very good to see. Tbilisi is also very much a previous Soviet country, and now they are supporting wholeheartedly the effort in Ukraine to stay independent. There are many of such signs all over the city of Tbilisi. So here we go. We went up north, and what you're looking at now is the Caucasus Range, which is very high, very dangerous separation from Georgia from Russia. And we are going to take a hike there. And you'll see in the middle, just below the R in Mother, there's a tower there, and that was a very ancient watchtower to see if there was any invaders coming over the mountains. We'll get closer to that in a minute. But the reason and that's where we are, in that area. And the reason that you're seeing all these trucks is that they're lined up maybe for weeks at a time to go over the mountains to take goods to Russia. And the men cook outside, they sleep in their trucks, and they just wait until their turn comes. And it's quite remarkable. It goes on for miles. But if anybody is wondering why Russia is not suffering that much from the
sanctions.
The sanctions, this is one of the reasons. Thank you, Patton. And I'm just going to. I think this will show it. I mean, it just goes on and on, and I mean, just amazing. This is just from the car. It only takes a few seconds to show. They're carrying everything you can imagine. So, another red circle. Well, where we're going to climb to is another symbol of Georgia, the Gergely Church and Bell Tower. You can see that it's quite high, but it's not high like the background mountain is Mount Kazbek. It's 16,581 feet. You can read that. The third highest mountain in Georgia, but we're still in green territory. So we're headed out from this little town to go up to the church. There's the tower again. Now, the first thing that I said when I saw where we were going to go, and Sarah remembers this, I can't do this. It was a very rocky, narrow path. On one side, you had a very steep canyon. On the mountain was on the other side, okay? She didn't say anything, she just kept walking. There's the watchtower again. And the trucks have to be so careful when they go over that they have to go in packs and stay and go very slowly. So here I am taking my one of many rests for me to catch my breath and look at the scenery. It's supposed to take about an hour and a half, and I think we did it in 2.5 hours. People would pass us. But there's a bright side to it. The mountainside had beautiful little flowers, rock gardens on it that I could pay close attention to, which normally I would have passed them right by. So here we are. We finally have made it up to the church. But I want to say that during the whole way, Sarah was afraid that I would fall off the mountain. She watched me very carefully, and at one point she did say, "Mom, please don't fall off the mountain." She held out her arm as if that could help anything if I fell and tripped. And she was very patient with me, and we finally made it, and this is the landmark. Now, on the other side of the mountain, there is a road. Tour buses come up it. There are restaurants and, bars and stopping places for anyone who wants to go. But we did not choose that way to go up to the church. We chose the long, hard way, which is probably one of the best way. So there she is, and there's the church, which was built in the 14th century, and it's in pretty good shape. It really is. I'm sure there's been restoration done on it. And there's the bell tower. Sarah again. So this is what the takeaway from this. I mean, the existentialists say there's walking is good, climbing is good. I say that worry happens, anxiety happens, and that we worry about our young children, and then down the road it is the child's turn to worry about their parents, and to be human is to worry. She worries about me being alone in Georgia. I worry about her being alone in Georgia, and yet we're fine. We're just going along, and we're fine, and we have to deal with that worry as part of our experience. So thank you very much.
Thank you, Nancy and Cindy and Sue. I laughed, I cried, it was educational, it was inspirational, which frankly probably sums up my relationship with my own mother. So I feel like I celebrated actually today. congregational song Jean told me is a surprise.
Page 103, Let It Be a Dance, we do. And so I encourage you, if anybody wants to dance, you know.
That song is compliments that we all requested to put in this song.
Oh, thank you for that. Thank you so much to all of our speakers this morning. It was lovely. Happy Mother's Day. Thank you to Jean for being our musician. I invite you to come back next week for Stephen Wing and his talk, A Spiritual Relationship with the Material World. Marsha will be our facilitator and William Chelton, Bill, will be our musician. And remember again that it's that third Sunday, so meet and greet next week. And a reminder again to the e-chorus to meet at the piano after service.
For a minute, just a minute.
For a minute. And I will extinguish our flame. Thank you so much for being with us this morning.
Thank you, Sarah.
Thank you. We extinguish this flame, but not the light of truth, the warmth of community, or the fire of commitment. These we carry in our hearts until we are together again.